Alright, so as we all know, the Wolverine trailer dropped for Marvel's Wolverine. Insomniac dropped it for us a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago now? 2.5 weeks, something like that. And game looks good. I already gave my thoughts on it. I think the game is going to be good gameplay-wise, absolutely. Story, I don't know. I thought the Spider-Man 2 story sucks. I have a brief explanation on my channel of why I think that. But gameplay is going to be good, I think, because we know that Insomniac can make great gameplay. The Spider-Man trilogy, the Insomniac trilogy, right? The three Insomniac Spider-Man games all have great gameplay. So there's nothing to worry about there, in my opinion. But I will say, on to Spider-Man, next in Spider-Man franchise, next in the Insomniac storyline for Peter, Miles, and our other friends. What is going to happen? What are they going to do? I mean, no story DLC, we know that. So what's next? What is next for it? Now, the Venom game is rumored. Are we going to get the Venom game? Is that going to come to fruition? I really hope not. I'm not a Venom fan. I don't think we need a Venom game. I think it'll be, that'll take time away from Spider-Man 3. Although, I shouldn't be so quick to jump that because, you know, there's so much to clear up that I wouldn't even mind, here, I wouldn't mind this. If we have a Venom game, if there has to be a fucking Venom game to please the fans, fine. I didn't like him in Spider-Man 2. I don't like the idea of Venom. Like I said, I know I've said it already, I'll say it again. I don't like Venom. I'm not a Venom fan. I don't like the symbiote storyline. Never have and never will. But if we need a Venom game to please the fans, right? Insomniac says we're going to listen to the fans. We want to please the fans. Fine. If that does need to happen, let's clear up the symbiotes. Get those goddamn symbiotes out of there. Get Venom the fuck out of there. Get Carnage the fuck out of there. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for that. I know Carnage is badass. He's super violent. But fine. Give him his own game. Have Cletus Cassidy be the main antagonist of the Venom game. And have him be the final boss. And let's wrap up the storyline that Carnage deserves. Because he's a big enough villain to deserve a big story. A big game in and of itself. Fine. Let that be in the Venom game. No problem. Maybe we'll get some help from Peter and Miles and Cindy Moon. Who knows? Yeah, maybe Silk will have her be a part of that to kind of get some stuff going so that way Spider-Man 3 isn't so bogged down. That would be fine. If they're going to use the Venom game for those reasons, no problem. Hopefully we have some decent gameplay, some decent, you know, just Venom smashing shit, busting through stuff, knocking the shit out of people. Just almost like somewhat like an Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction combined with Ultimate Spider-Man Venom gameplay. You know, what's wrong with that? Maybe have the other Spider characters be playable in challenge maps or something. No problem. Maybe even in small parts of the story. That'll be fine. Wrap up that Carnage storyline. Okay, fine. Maybe they can get that out in 2027, whether it's a big title like Marvel Spider-Man 1 or 2, or it's more of a spin-off like Miles Morales. Either way, I think that can be worked with. Now, let's say that does happen, right? Let's say there's a Venom game, or let's just say, for example, Carnage is dealt with before Marvel Spider-Man 3, which I think needs to happen in order to put, bare minimum, Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn has to be the main antagonist of Marvel Spider-Man 3. I'm fine with him sharing that. I'm fine with him sharing the spotlight with Otto Octavius, because those are unequivocally Peter Parker's greatest villains. His greatest enemies are Otto Octavius and Norman Osborn. I need not explain why. There's how many years? There's 60 years of content, 60 years of media, comics, TV shows, movies, video games explaining why this is. I need not explain. Those are Peter Parker's greatest villains and greatest enemies. And they're going to need to force Peter out of this hiatus that he's in, if he's even on it, you know, when at the beginning of that game, if he's still in his hiatus, on his break, right? they will force his ass right out of fucking retirement because of the havoc that they're gonna cause. And their two minds and skill together will be too much for Miles and Silk to handle. And the OG is gonna have to come out of retirement, and he's gonna have to kick some ass. And this needs to be filled with raw, unprecedented emotion. Not like Marvel Spider-Man 2, not that garbage, that fake bullshit, undermine control angry Peter. No, we need a real angry Peter. We need a Peter Parker who's fucking bloodlusted, because Norman Osborn or Otto Octavius, maybe he didn't necessarily kill MJ or Yuri or Miles or Cindy, but let's pretend Peter, but hopefully Peter thinks that they did. And let's see a real angry, beefed up, pissed off Spider-Man, not under the mind control of a fake ass symbiote, but real, something that comes from within him, something that actually comes from his own mind, not something that's bestowed upon him through a fucking symbiote. Let's have a real emotional story this time. That's what really needs to happen. Otto Octavius and Norman Osborn need to be focused on to the as much as possible as far as the main story is concerned. Want to do Chameleon as a side mission? No problem. Have it a big drawn out side mission? Fine. There needs to be a ton of content in this game too. None of this bullshit where, you know, oh, we respect our audience's times, we respect our fan base, we respect their time. The story's only, you know, it's about as long as the original game. Fuck that shit. I want a 60, 70, 80 hour game. I want a long-ass game. I want an Elden Ring, a God of War Ragnarok, Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's get some combat. Let's get some content in there. Races, combat challenges, ability to swap characters through these races and combat challenges. Let's have some fucking content. Let's have a DLC. Let's really make it so that way there's a vessel for this great gameplay system, the traversal and combat system that Insomniac has made and that we know they can make. Let's make sure there's a lot of room to play. Let's spend a lot of time with these mechanics, because this is probably the last one, so let's make it fucking count, Insomniac. But back to the story. Those two characters need to be at the helm. You know, they want to have Chameleon as a side mission, fine. Kraven's family, that would be great. Who was it? Was it Anna Kravinoff who killed Madam Web in the Grim Hunt? Remember in Brand New Day in the comics? It was Brand New Day, then the Grim Hunt. I think it was Anna Kravinoff killed is it Cassandra Webb, and then Julia Carpenter had to take over as the new Madam Web. I believe that was in the Grim Hunt. Comic fans, let me know if I'm wrong there. But I believe that's what it was. Have Kraven's hunters come and have, you know, imagine if Peter's off dealing with Norman and Otto, and have Miles and Cindy and Miles and Silk be distracted with Kraven's hunters. Wouldn't that be something else? The city's in such fucking chaos and havoc. And have Chameleon, obviously, you know, in lore, Chameleon is Kraven's half brother. Have them all there'd be so much going on at once that they can't even take the city back. That they gotta claw tooth and nail to grab this fucking city back. And, you know, have Peter get his ass whooped by Norman and Otto, and have Cindy and Miles getting their asses whooped by Kraven's family. And then who knows what'll happen. They'll have to, you know, hopefully they can make it out, regroup, and come back even stronger. That'll be fucking cool. But if those other enemies are side missions, fine. They want to do Beetle, no problem. Maybe we'll get some other characters like Sin Eater, or they're not going to do Kindred or Morlun. I don't see them doing those characters. Just because of they're so violent. I understand, like, Venom bit Kraven's head off, but like every scene would have to be pretty much violent if they had the Inheritors, or, you know, Morlun's family, or Kindred. He's super violent. Even Sin Eater's pretty violent. Is it Carter? Stanley Carter, I think that's his name from the comics. But it's been a while since I read a comic with him. But anyways, those side villains fine. Oh, have Mark Raxton as a Molten Man. That would be pretty cool. So there's a lot of side characters that they Hobgoblin. Who knows? Maybe they can have, you know, Ned Leeds, or they're not going to do Phil Urich as Hobgoblin. Kingsley, I think Kingsley's the original Hobgoblin. But anyways, that's what we need to see. We need content. We need story revolving around Norman Osborn and Otto Octavius. So yeah, that's what needs to happen. I'm really looking forward to it. I know we're still years out, but it's fun to speculate on what can happen in Marvel Spider-Man 3 because, I have a passion for the Insomniac universe. I'm excited for Wolverine. Maybe I'm sure there'll be, I shouldn't say that, but maybe there'll be some cameos from our Spider characters. Maybe not. And maybe, who knows, maybe Logan will be fighting alongside them if it gets bad enough in Marvel Spider-Man 3. But we'll see what happens. Got to get through Wolverine first. Maybe we'll get an announcement sometime next year for the next game. So, whether it's Venom, whether it's some kind of Cindy Moon and Miles Morales spinoff, I would rather the latter, to be honest, rather than a Venom game. But that's just me. And that's it.